I'm here with Gia Milani at the Vancouver International Film Festival, and she has her film, All the Wrong Reasons, that is going to be screening here. And the movie premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival. Now you're here in Vancouver.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit about the film, the storyline, and how you came to be involved with it?
Sure. I started in 2008, and it's an ensemble film. So there's 4 storylines running through it, but the main one is about post-traumatic stress disorder and a woman who has that and how it's affecting her life and her husband's life and his career. So that's sort of the main gist of it. And I wrote it and I directed it, and I was one of the 4 producers. So I'm very heavily involved.
Wow, and one of the kind of incredible things about it, it is also your directorial debut. And you got kind of all the stars in alignment. You got the Toronto Film Festival premiere, you got the stars in alignment, so you got a great cast.
Yeah.
And it's been having a really warm reception. What do you attribute this success to? This really great beginner's luck?
A hard work, I think. People keep saying, oh, you must have been lucky, but I think we worked really hard for the luck because we got told no so many times and we had so many roadblocks and so many hills to climb. But I think that the film itself is pretty realistic and quite relatable, so everyone seems to be able to find one of the 4 characters to relate to, so it's getting a warm reception, I think, because of that. There's always somebody that people can identify with, so I think that's why it's doing well.
And you got a lot of different characters, a lot of very different characters. Is there, how did you cast them, and also how did you flesh out the characters themselves so that they had their own life going on?
Yeah, well, when I did the writing, I would write sometimes from the character's perspective, and so I'd write that for a while and then move on to another one. And sometimes I would write the script just with one character and just from their point of view, and then kind of squish them all together. So yeah, it was an interesting process trying to do an ensemble film, trying to get that all together in the writing, but the casting was different. The casting process, I'd never done that kind of thing before, and we got Heidi Levitt on board, who's a fantastic casting director in LA, and she knows everybody. She's cast for Oliver Stone, and she knows her stuff, and so she put it out to people, and that's how we got started that way. But Kevin Zegers came on quite early, as did Emily Hampshire, but Karin Van Ness and Corey Monteith came on very late, like just within a couple days before we shot. So Karin I had met maybe 6 months prior for a different role, and we both decided that she would have made a better lead. And when the lead came open, I thought, well, let's see if she's still interested. And she had a 4-week window, and it just happened to be my window, so I was very thankful that she said yes. And then we put it out to Corey on it was a Saturday night. He was at Comic-Con in San Francisco, I think it's San Diego. Anyway, somewhere in California, and he read it in between interviews at Comic-Con and really liked it, and he was on the plane the next day. So he read it on a Saturday, and we started shooting on Wednesday, and he was there Monday. So it was very short. So it nearly got pulled, the film did. So between Karin and Corey, they did save it at the last second. So there were a lot of harrowing moments in the filmmaking process.
I'm sure. And it's, you've gotten a lot of attention for the film itself, but also because of the unfortunate circumstances. So it must be very, I guess, bittersweet because you've captured a great performance, but also, having to talk about it. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it was extremely hard at the beginning to talk about, and it was, we found out that we were accepted into TIFF right around the time when he passed away, just a little bit before, and I hadn't even shared it with the cast yet, and so that was hard, and even talking about the film in the months after his passing was difficult. And a fan of his said to me on Twitter, wrote me a message and said, you should still promote this. He would be promoting it if he was here, and I think that helped. Just getting that little bit of fan support from his fans helped me be able to push through it, because it was difficult. It is difficult. I feel like he should be here.
And in terms of the subject matter, the post-traumatic stress, that's something that usually people associate with people coming home from war, but this is really relevant to all of us. Can you talk a little bit about that?
You know, I wanted to explore post-traumatic stress in everyday life and not coming back from like a tour, even though it is based on my best friend who came back from overseas. And so he let me kind of mine him for how it's like. But I really feel like everyone's life is shaped because of little traumas in their past. And I wanted to explore that. Because when you start looking back, I think, at least for me, why I'm fearful about things is because of something that's happened before. And when I started to delve into post-traumatic stress, I did a lot of research on it. There were levels of post-traumatic stress, like there were 10 different levels. And basically they said that everybody has it, but to different degrees. And I wanted to explore that, so that's what I did.
In the movie, there's a lot of surveillance going on because of where the characters work. Can you tell us, like, how did you prepare for that? Did you actually look at surveillance footage?
I didn't actually, but what stuck in my mind with that is that there was a store being built a long time ago when I was going to art school, and one of the guys in my class was at night for his job to support himself. He put in surveillance equipment, and he said that the surveillance equipment was being put in the changing rooms of this store, and to not ever go and change there, like buy your clothing and go home and try it on and bring it back, because they were watching. And at the beginning of the store, at the front when you come in, it says we are surveilling every part of the store, but they don't let you know that. I mean, you don't think, oh well, it's going to be in the changing rooms, but it really was, and that always stuck with me. And so I thought that I would incorporate that in, because it's creepy.
I agree. It's definitely creepy.
Yeah.
And I'm going to think twice now.
Mm-hmm. You should. Yeah.
I will. And the film had its premiere in Toronto at the film festival. And you just came from a screening in Vancouver. Mm-hmm. Has the audience response surprised you at all? Are you hearing things that you didn't expect?
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect from an audience. I didn't have any expectation at all. I hadn't thought about it too much. I don't know why, but I didn't. And I think that different people identifying with different characters is what surprised me the most. So I'll talk to different people, and they will say, oh my goodness, I'm so much like Nicole, or I was in my past, or I know somebody like Kevin, or whatever. I keep going back and forth between my character names and names of the actors. I interchange. But they all have different experiences, and I think that's what kind of, not threw me, but surprised me, I guess. But the audience response has been good. I like that. And I really like the social media aspect. People will write me on Twitter and say things or ask me questions. I've had people write me on Facebook and say what their favorite part was, or why they liked it, or why they didn't, or whatever. So
it's very interactive that way.
Yeah.
So. And it's, I know you're still very much in the mind frame probably of this movie being released, but as a lot of filmmakers, they have their next project already lined up. Do you have your next project lined up?
I do. It's called Strathcona. It's the working title for it, but it's about a girl aging out of foster care. So it's a sort of coming of age film, I guess, of a girl turning 18 and having to start her life on her own without any support.
A drama?
Yes,
yes,
yes, it is.
A drama.
Yeah, it's I think we'll try to make it a little bit of an adventure film so that it can, really stick with its target audience, which I'm hoping will be a youth audience. But yeah.
Great, and this movie is going to be opening soon, right?
Yes, soon. It'll be this fall. I don't know when, but it will be this fall. Hopefully not too far in the future. Yeah.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.